15 of Bitcoin's biggest psychopaths came together to make this video. Viewer discretion is advised.
In 2009, the world witnessed the birth of something revolutionary, Bitcoin.
It all started with this mysterious figure, Satoshi Nakamoto, or a group of engineers who launched Bitcoin in January 2009. With proof of work, anyone with a PC could join in the network. Satoshi mined 1 million Bitcoins in those early days. Back then, the reward was 50 Bitcoins for every block, that was every 10 minutes.
Among the early adopters were Hal Finney, Dustin Trammell, and Marty Malmi.
Hal Finney received the first Bitcoin transaction on January 12, 2009. But back then, Bitcoin wasn't worth anything. It is said in October 2009, approximately 5,000 Bitcoins were sold for $0.0009 each. That's about 1,200 Bitcoins for $1. From humble beginnings to a global revolution, Bitcoin has come a long way.
And the journey continues.
2010, the year of Satoshi. Not this one, and also not this one.
This was the year Satoshi posted most of his ideas on the Bitcoin Talk forum.
When he was implementing new changes, Bitcoin was finally arriving in the real world.
Most famously by purchasing 2 pizzas for 10,000 Bitcoin.
The first Bitcoin exchange emerged, and Bitcoin started trading for 3 cents.
Cents! But back then, it was pretty hard to buy and store your Bitcoin. They didn't have something like this. They didn't even have seed phrases.
In August, there was an inflation bug, causing 92 millions to be produced. But within hours, the developers fixed the problem. In November, the market cap surpassed 1 million, partially because WikiLeaks contemplated adopting Bitcoin as a payment method. And this may have led to the end of Satoshi itself. He stated, "WikiLeaks has kicked the hornet's nest and the swarm is headed toward us."
And with this, Satoshi logged off and never came back.
I'm Ben with the BTC Sessions, and this is your daily session. Now, what do you need to know about Bitcoin in 2011? Let's go. January 28th, 25% of all Bitcoins are mined. February 1st, Ross Ulbricht launches the Silk Road Darknet market. February 9th, Bitcoin reaches parity with the US dollar for the first time. April 16th, Time Magazine publishes an article on Bitcoin. June 14th, WikiLeaks begins accepting Bitcoin donations. June 19th, Mt. Gox has a security breach and foreshadows its eventual demise. June 29th, BitPay launches the first smartphone wallet. August 20th, first Bitcoin conference is held in New York City. August 23rd, P2 Pool, decentralized mining pool, mines its first block. September 6th, Cassius coins are launched. These are physical coins with preloaded private keys. December 12th, the largest mining fee ever recorded is paid for 171 Bitcoin. And in terms of price, Bitcoin starts the year at 30 cents, on 100x's to over $30, and then drops by 90% to finish out the year around the $4 range. You got all that? This was your daily session.
You don't buy Bitcoin.
No, you can. There are currency traders online.
Yeah, 1 Bitcoin's worth 1 Bitcoin. But that's not how it gets into circulation. You mine it, like gold. The guy who invented it created this program that releases blocks of Bitcoin over time.
In 2012, Bitcoin was recovering from a market crash of greater than 90%. Insecure wallets and exchange hacks cost users their funds. Stories linking its use to criminal activity started to begin. And as the old saying goes, it is TikTok next block. And at block 210,000 marked the end of its first epoch. Bitcoin's first halving occurred in November of 2012.
2013 was wild. The Bitcoin's price was a roller coaster. It skyrocketed to $260, then dropped before soaring again to over $1,200. Early investors had their moment of glory.
The FBI shuts down the dark web market Silk Road, seizes over 26,000 Bitcoin, and arrests its founder, Ross Ulbricht, representing a crackdown on free market principles. No non-violent offender has ever gotten such a long sentence. Free Ross!
Huge companies such as WordPress, Microsoft, and Baidu started to accept Bitcoin payments.
But they chickened out shortly after due to volatility. Oops!
Hold hodl.
Yes, the term hodl was born from a typo in a drunken rant on a forum.
Remembering people to never panic sell their Bitcoin.
The year closed with a cold splash from China.
Banning financial institutions from dealing with Bitcoin. A move that sent prices tumbling.
But hey, guess what?
Bitcoin stands invincible.
The year started with a bang, with the Bitcoin price at 800. But that was short-lived, because China bans Bitcoin banking. Silk Road 2.0 collapses. Ross Ulbricht goes to trial. Charlie Shrimp gets arrested.
Who's Charlie Shrimp?
The CEO of a Bitcoin exchange. Vitalik starts crowdfunding Ethereum. Taylor Swift abandons country music. Bitcoin gets forked. Journalist fight Satoshi.
I'm not in Bitcoin.
It's the wrong Satoshi, and the real one tells people to stop harassing him. Oh yeah, did I mention Mount freaking Gox, the largest Bitcoin exchange in the world, losing 850,000 Bitcoin, causing a cascade of other Bitcoin exchange failures and never-ending despair? But yeah, just another year on Bitcoin. What else is new?
With Mt. Gox destroyed, a series of other exchanges getting hacked left and right, and the block size wars in full swing, tech bloggers and puppet economists got to pat themselves on the back and finally declare that Bitcoin was dead. But if you didn't listen to them, you got to pick up Bitcoin at about $190 a coin. And while the price of Bitcoin remained relatively low, fees definitely did not. Satoshi's chosen successor for Bitcoin development, Gavin Andreessen, pushed for a controversial fork that would update the Bitcoin block size, allowing more throughput at the cost of decentralization. And while this led to a vigorous debate as to who really controlled Bitcoin, we can all agree that Craig Wright definitely did not. But that wouldn't stop him from suing anyone and everyone who said he wasn't Satoshi. 8 years later, multiple courts would declare that he was indeed not Satoshi, to which the real Satoshi would respond,
"Kiss my fluffy ass, you sad little bitch."
2016 was wilder than a raccoon in a dumpster. This big shot crypto exchange, Bitfinex, gets hacked for 120,000 Bitcoins. Turns out it was these two lovebirds who eventually got caught. Bitcoin itself remains unhacked. Can't say the same for its demented cousin Ethereum. In June, 40% of its total supply be gone. Scarecrow and friends decide to split their centralized database into two paths. The hacked version continues as Ethereum Classic, and the new version arbitrarily reverses transactions for shareholders. To this day, Ethereum remains the top shitcoin. So much for immutability. The Cabinet of Japan says, "Hey guys, Bitcoin is real money. You can fuck with it now." A Layer 2 instant payment solution called the Lightning Network is proposed, and Blockstream completes its first Lightning transaction by October. Heh. Big blockers have a hissy fit. Finally, Bitcoin's second halving cuts the supply issuance by half, spurring a total price rise of 124% by the end of the year. The S&P 500 and NASDAQ both earn less than 10%. Boo!
Bitcoin breaks the four figures mark in January 2017, kicking off what will become known as the year of the bubble wrap. In March 2017, the SEC rejects a spot ETF. It only took them another 7 years to approve it. In August, Bitcoin forked off, leading to the creation of some shit cryptocurrency called Bitcoin Cash. In September, China banned ICOs. Think of ICOs like Web3, NFT, DeFi, Metaverse tokens, but even more scammy. In November, the controversial SegWit 2X upgrade was cancelled, and Bitcoin bubbled up some more. And in December 2017, Bitcoin hits an all-time high and pops to $20,000.
But if we believe, like they said, that 2017 is a bubble, then why does the bubble keep popping higher?
George Soros referred to Bitcoin as a bubble. Bitcoin's price started to slide rapidly and continued to plummet throughout the year. The decline was primarily driven by regulatory concerns, security breaches at exchanges, and a general market correction after the speculative frenzy of 2017. Despite the colossal collapse in Bitcoin's price and other nefarious activities by the broader crypto space, the spirit of Bitcoin was very much alive. Nevertheless, critics claimed it dead. Many people were distracted by shiny crypto tokens that claimed to fix all the problems with Bitcoin. At the same time, the Lightning Network saw significant development and growth. It addressed scalability issues by enabling faster and cheaper transactions. Later that year, an inflatable rat covered with Bitcoin references was erected in front of the Federal Reserve. The year ended with Bitcoin at $3,200.
2019 was a vibe, many all-time highs. Dipping on that price, till we hit 100 extra hash.
Bitcoin are hard to me to fathom now.
And Crook snagged 7,000 Bitcoin.
That's right, the Binance hack.
And that price switched gears, started off at 3K.
They're 8,000 by the mid-year.
China and India, they acted like foes.
What do you mean?
Bitcoin opposed, but Switzerland, Malta, Germany, Japan, all welcomed growth and like a ring on a finger.
Taproot got cryptos.
Absolutely, the same with Schnorr signatures.
I'd like to hear you rhyme that.
Not to get all up in the particulars, but if you need to, of course, privately with Schnorr, verify the transaction was yours.
Clever thinking.
Yeah, definitely different.
Whatever happened to Libra?
Got beat down and left in the wind. Thus congressional sessions, he wasn't destined to win.
And with a spotlight on Bitcoin,
got lots more adoption, futures, TradFi, services for hodlers.
That weren't really hodling, were they?
With one very spooky virus spreading around, we saw Bitcoin dump 51% in 2 days. No coin has made sure to let us know we are all stupid. Bitcoin is dead and on its way to zero. But of course, Bitcoin lived and nearly 8x before the end of the year. Faces were melted and bears destroyed. Block 630,000 was mined, making this Bitcoin's third successful halving and reduced the reward from 12.5 to 6.25 BTC. We saw a huge new entrant into the Bitcoin space. Michael Saylor and MicroStrategy adopted Bitcoin as their primary treasury reserve asset and ended the year with over 70,000 coins acquired with $1.125 billion US. Finally, in 2020, Craig Raw released the first public version of Sparrow Wallet, one of the best Bitcoin wallets available today.
2021 was one of those unforgettable years in Bitcoin history. It starts off with Elon Musk tweeting his support for Bitcoin, all while stacking billions of dollars worth for his companies, SpaceX and Tesla. Michael Saylor makes another 100 podcast appearances, delivering one orange pill after another. China, however, have fun staying poor and decides to ban Bitcoin mining, which briefly slashes Bitcoin's hash rate and price in half. That's one of the reasons I think that we didn't hit 100K. I really believe that was a nation-state attack. But you know what ended up happening? Not only did the price recover, the hash rate recovered, all while decentralizing in the process. But within 3 months, Bitcoin bounces back to all new time highs of 69,420. Wink, wink. And thanks to the work of Bitcoiners starting their own Bitcoin circular economies, President Nayib Bukele takes notice and makes El Salvador the first country on earth to accept Bitcoin as legal tender. Unfortunately, all of Bitcoin's success attracted a new wave of scammers and rehypothecation to the space, but it gave us an important lesson. If you don't own your keys to your Bitcoin, somebody else owns you. Nico, signing out.
2022. That year was a pretty emotional one for me, as I had the chance to witness the cheapest sats I ever seen in my Bitcoin journey. And thanks to this guy, the new Bitcoin supervillain. 2022 saw some epic crypto collapses. The Terra Luna meltdown, the FTX implosion, the Celsius fraud, and many more. People that really wanted to own Bitcoin got their money stolen from them. But actually, that's not what I want to focus on. Let's talk about the good stuff instead. A president of a country tweeted that they are buying Bitcoin every single day. The Treasury Secretary even recited the legend of Satoshi Nakamoto. And the builders continued to craft infrastructure to onboard the next generation of Bitcoiners. So 2022 wasn't that bad after all. Because you know what they say, what doesn't kill you makes you stronger. Good luck trying to kill us. Anyway, on to the next one.
Not gonna lie, I had a pretty good year.
Only because you're measuring your price in me. I'm just happy I was able to be part of the Bitcoinery as Peter's Ordinal collection.
Yeah, love it or hate it. I mean, you can't deny Ordinals and inscriptions caused quite a stir this year. Still on brand.
You know, it's pretty impressive that magic internet money is practically mainstream now. What with FASB, fair value accounting, presidential candidates accepting you for political donations, I'm not jealous.
Well, Bitcoin is for anyone.
Anyone including terrorists and
money launderers.
Oh, that's rich, coming from the currency that's funded every war and coup since 1913.
And is still responsible for over 99% of money laundering, terrorist financing, and other dark deeds. I mean, it's not like Jeffrey Epstein used Bitcoin.
Dude, I thought you had my back.
Not since 1971.
Burn. But back to you, Bitcoin. You beat the SEC, and soon you'll have ETFs just like me. How does it feel?
Honestly, I don't care, but if it gives more people exposure to me, fine. Maybe it'll encourage them to go down my rabbit hole.
Phrasing. Boom.
2024. We did it, gang. We got those Bitcoin ETFs and another Bitcoin halving under our belts. But Bitcoin isn't really about any of that. Bitcoin's about preserving your wealth. Bitcoin's about enabling your independence. Bitcoin is about future-proofing your money. And while every year of Bitcoin's life is important, its most important years are yet to come. We don't buy Bitcoin for our first name.
We buy Bitcoin for our last name.
So congratulations, and welcome to the 5th epoch of the most influential asset this world has ever seen. Awesome. Well done, you guys. Hey, put it there, G. You. Love you, honey. Good job. All right, we're done.